Fox Carolina First Alert Weather Day update.
Well, snow continues to come down around Greenville and Spartanburg, but we're seeing that icy mix starting to develop around Greenwood, Abbeville. This is where we're getting some sleet mixing in, but the heavier snowfall is coming down around Greenville, Spartanburg, Anderson, and Clemson, where we've seen Enrique doing some sledding. It's been a lot of fun, so we're continuing to monitor that as we get the steady snow around Union and Cherokee counties. Down toward Lawrence, still seeing some of that snow come down. And then we got Princeton, West Pelzer, and then Greenville. You're going to see the snow pick up, and we've got the steady snow continuing around Anderson and over toward Oconee County. Now, the snow is not going to stick around all day long, so if you want the kids to be able to go play in it, I suggest you get them out soon. Stay on those grassy surfaces if you can. Avoid the roads. Avoid, if you can, like the driveways, the sidewalks, because they could start to become slippery. Temperatures are near freezing right now, and that's why so much of what we're seeing fall is snow, and that's across Anderson too, an area that can sometimes get missed by some of these big snows. So Greenwood, you've gotten about an inch of snow so far, but you're starting to see that transition over towards sleet. We've had reports of it going from that fluffy white snow to those ice pellets. So that's something we're going to be watching as this begins to creep northward. So in the next several hours, you can expect the steady snowfall to eventually turn to sleet, but we're seeing the snow steady in the upstate right now. And then we've got the wintry mix over toward Georgia and parts of the southern upstate that, again, will eventually start to creep northward. So let's go through it hour by hour. 2 p.m. today, so just about an hour and a half from now, we're going to be looking at that wintry mix still near Greenwood and Abbeville, but it's going to be slowly edging out that snow. So still should be snowing pretty good in Greenville and Spartanburg, Pickens, Easley, and the mountains. And then here comes that what we call the warm nose. It's an area of warmth in the upper levels that turns the snow into that wintry mess that we don't enjoy quite as much. We're going to get the sleet and the freezing rain, and that freezing rain is what looks like rain, but falls and creates a glaze of ice, potentially on raised surfaces, bridges, overpasses. So that's something we're going to have to really monitor for areas south of 85 late afternoon. And then we may even see a cold rain develop for some of these southern spots. Well, look at this. Greenville, Spartanburg, and just north of Anderson, you lie right on that line. So we could still have snow falling for some areas while the sleet tries to work its way in. But we're going to start to dry out from the west, so you can see by around 8, 9 o'clock, we're not going to have a whole lot of moisture left. It's going to start to work its way out, and then by midnight and beyond, we will start to see clearing, so that by the morning, you may even see sunshine as you step out the door, but don't be fooled. It's still going to be icy out there, and temperatures will be below freezing for several hours during the morning. So trace to 2 inches of snow south of 85, 1 to 3 inches of snow, but sleet will be part of that, unfortunately. And then we get up into the mountains, we're going to get some higher totals. And there's that forecast ice, 0.2 to 0.3 possible, which is about a 1/4 inch of ice or more, can really cause some problems on power lines, bridges, overpasses. This is, again, something we're going to monitor. It's not a guarantee we're going to get that, but as that warmer air nudges in, it's going to be a potential. So we'll keep an eye out for you. A little bit of ice across Greenville and Spartanburg mixed with that snow, and that could cause those problems on the roads. Now here's a look at your morning as temperatures are going to start off below freezing. So this is when we're going to have the worst problems on the road. And then notice by 11, 1 o'clock, we're near 40 degrees. So this ought to help melt away some of those spots on the roadways, dry up some moisture, and make it a little easier for travel. But you're still going to want to be extra safe out there as you are getting out and about on your Saturday. So next few hours, we've got the snow coming down, but sleet and freezing rain will be sneaking in. I do want to pitch it on out to Chrissy Kohler, who is outside enjoying this snow. I know you were saying that your son, he's waiting for it to start accumulating outside. One of my sons, too, is the same way. He's like, I want to wait until I can build a snowman. So how's it looking out there, Chrissy?
Yeah, Kendra, what do we have to do to impress him?
I know. It's ridiculous. We brought him snow for the first time in 3 years,
Right.
so he needs to get out and just play in the flakes, I guess.
Apparently we're just not doing enough. But yeah, my son was just saying, I'm good until I start to see it accumulate. And it really is right here, and I just live right down the road. We're starting to see it in kind of the flower beds, and then right here on the garden deck is where I'm seeing the accumulations. You can see, actually, this is our camera looking right down, straight down at the surface here, where you can see some light accumulations here. I'd call this a trace of rain, and it's actually impressive how fast it is accumulating because of how cold it is out here. Kendra was just mentioning our temperatures around the freezing mark. I've got my handy dandy little I got my handy dandy temperature gun. So right now the surface temperature, I probably get it a little closer. Well, it's picking up on some of these snowflakes where it's about 20 degrees here. So we've got definitely some cooler temperatures at the surface level, especially on some of these raised, I'm on a top of a raised deck. So those of course are going to accumulate first. Bridges and overpasses going to be the areas where, as we mentioned, some of these icy roadways, those are going to go downhill first before you start to see it on the rest of the pavement out there. But we're also getting some pretty decent accumulations even outside of Greenville. Of course, Greenville has been a little bit behind in terms of what we're seeing across parts of our southern areas and down to our south. This is actually not the right snowfall totals there. I think, Kendra, if you can flip it back, probably I think it animated a little too far. That looks like a snowfall report from one of our previous times. But we've had about 1.7 inches in Elberton has been reported there from the National Weather Service. Both Carnesville and Calhoun Falls, that's the right numbers there. Calhoun Falls and Carnesville, both an inch of accumulation so far. Iva in Anderson County has gotten a 0.7 of an inch, and in Williamston, we've also in Anderson County, a 1/2 inch of snow. As Kendra was just mentioning, as long as it's still snowing, we're going to continue to see these accumulations build. This is beautiful out here right now. If you don't have to be out and about in it, it's a great time to get outside and enjoy it. I know the kids are going to enjoy it, but hey, even us adults are going to enjoy this as well. Act like a kid for a day, for sure. Get out and enjoy it while we can. We're going to continue, of course, to keep an eye on all of this stuff going on here all across our area. But Haley, I'm going to send it back inside to you right now.